Kingdom Team, all call time. It is time to get your perspective, your thoughts on what's shaking in Disney parks from coast to coast. It's time for you to sound off. We have questions that we've accumulated throughout the week, both on our videos, on the Kingdom Report on YouTube, as well as via our social media. A lot of people with a lot of different concerns, a lot of different questions right now. But we do want to jump to someone that's waiting on the line with us, area code 916. Let's go to them now. What's your first name and what's on your mind?
Mr. Heath, it's Brian.
Oh, hello, Brian. What is shaking, sir? What do you have to share?
You know what? We're just hunkered down here in a house full of anarchy, and we've got kids running everywhere, breaking things, screaming. It's just a normal deal.
Well, that's got to be a lot of fun. Tell me about the hunkering down when it comes to keeping Disney alive in your household. What are you doing?
At the moment, we've got a Disney Parks themed Candyland out on our coffee table.
Oh,
I believe The Nightmare Before Christmas is playing on the TV in front of it. If I'm not mistaken, I'm not in that room, but it's a good bet.
that's great. And mentioning that you have kids, how have you explained what's happening? Obviously, parents are home a lot more, and probably kids are sticking around a lot more inside more than they ever have. What have you been able to share with your children?
We're just we're kind of doing what we can do, Wade. We're doing the best we can. You lean to YouTube. You kind of lean on the YouTube for parenting tutorials you never thought you'd have to use. We've got science experiments. We've got kind of a homeschooling regimen going, a lot of coloring, a lot of reading, as much outdoor activity as we can get into. Everything that we probably should have been doing prior to an imposed quarantine, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. And
is this going to I hope you're avoiding some Lego landmines around there, though. There's got to be some. The kids,
not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. They're all over the place.
Oh no! Watch your feet.
Lots and lots of pain. So is Disneyland your park of choice, Brian? Are you concerned about what things look like on the other side of this?
Absolutely. It always has been. Growing up down there, it was just a place that we went there constantly. And my wife and I have been going there since we first started dating 15 years ago. And it's one thing, you guys have touched on what the park experience is going to be on the other side of this. And something that comes to mind, just personally for me, as I hear you guys talk about that, is this is kind of an opportunity for people. It's bad right now. There's a lot of things worse than, for people's personal lives than Disneyland being shut down. I guess it's a matter of perspective, but I think it's a time where when this all blows over and people get back into the parks, it's a time that people can approach the parks with maybe less of a consumer mindset and get back to being in the park in that romanticized version you have in your mind when you're not there. I'm sure you guys can all relate. When you're not in the park, you think about it in a certain way. And I'll say again, romanticizing your experience in the park. And then you get there and, you do all the things, and then you spend all the money and you have the time, and it's stressful, but it's fun. And, there's different experiences for everybody. But I think we can all get back to this and be in Disneyland for what it is and what it was meant to be, instead of going there for the latest and greatest thing and, being irritated by lines. And it's funny because right now we're in a time where we don't have the choice to be in the park and form those opinions. So all we have right now is to lean on the memories of when we were there. And maybe that's something for people to consider to gain some perspective right now.
What a great way to put it. And yeah, I completely agree with you. I think more than anything, this entire experience has taught me what to be most grateful for. And certainly when I think about Disneyland and when I think about my experiences there and sort of what I miss the most about the place, even though it's only been a couple of days for anybody that's local, right? And it's only been a couple of days for a lot of us that, it's in our backyard. It's certainly something that you don't know what you have until it's gone. It's one of those sorts of situations. And not being able to have access to it, not being able to go play in our happy place, it's hard, man.
Right.
Yeah.
It is, but we it's a time to get back to family, and it's a time to do, like I mentioned before, maybe it's an opportunity for people to start doing things that we all talk about and we all like to put out on social media that we are doing. Maybe a little less than we should be, but reading with your kids, playing, walking outside, doing all the things that don't involve screen time or just staring at each other from across the room with a phone in your hand. It's now's the time to start doing that, and maybe we can continue that when we're not threatened by a virus.
Yeah, no kidding. And I so appreciate your perspective on the matter, being a father and looking at this from that point of view. I'm sure really does put things in perspective. And it's hard when you're a Disney fan and when you're somebody that really does love that Disney bubble and loves going to the theme parks and stuff like that, to know that your happy place, the place where you go to escape really with your family, to know that the real world has sort of encroached on that and dramatically altered your ability to appreciate that. I so respect though that you're right. It's time to get back to family. It's time to get back to the things that we probably should have been doing all along. And it's a heck of a whammy of a way to put things in perspective for us. But maybe we come out of this stronger, better people, and happier for it.
Agreed.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else on your mind? Any questions for us? Anything else you have on your mind for Disney parks?
Not. I don't think I have any real questions. I know you've probably got other callers on the line, but I do appreciate what you guys are doing. This Kingdom Report's been pretty awesome. It's a great addition to my podcast regimen when I'm in my truck at work, and we've enjoyed watching it. So just thanks to you guys for doing this. And we're definitely hoping to visit the park one day soon. We'll see you out there, I'm sure.
Wow, it means a lot. Thanks for taking the time out of your day, Brian. Best to your family.
Absolutely. We'll see you guys.
Thanks for that.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.